Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're a lady watching this, you have enough beauty and elegance to challenge the goddess Aphrodite herself. Let's get into the video. How do men use our natural feminine nature against us? How do men use our natural motherly nurturing nature against us? Well, they do this by playing us at our own game. When you are on this level up feminine journey, when you are working on yourself and changing your perspective as a woman and what you should be getting out of your love and dating relationships, you will meet men along the way who present themselves as one thing and then quickly change into another. When it comes to the topic of intimacy and intimate relationships, you know exactly what I'm talking about. A man will trick you to get intimately involved with him. This is if he's not satisfied that you truly are as high value as what you have presented. This has happened to me in the past. And no, of course, I didn't fall for it, but the male attempted in the situation to try and trick me out of my own high value goods. So what exactly will a man do in order to attack your femininity? Well, you have to see it like this. It is a battle of the sexes. When a man courts a woman, you essentially will lock heads. It is your will against his. A man wants to conquer you as quickly as he possibly can. And this goes for any man, unless he decides you are more high value and worth more to him without being conquered. Now, most women achieve this when they achieve being married before they actually lie with their husband. But a lot of women nowadays seem to be drunk on this feminist rhetoric, and they don't believe that sex really changes a dating relationship. A lot of women believe that a man should like them regardless of whether they have slept with them on the first date or even the third date. Now, my perspective is very different, and as a true feminine woman, I understand the power of what is between my thighs, and you should understand the power of what is between your thighs too, especially when you're moving into the realms of dating high caliber men. Even a high caliber man will try and trick you out of your, let's call it, virtues. So what is he going to do, and what will you come up against when you are dating men? And this is of any level, but this is specifically for men in general. He may begin to become vague and act extremely unavailable. He may give you the impression that he's lost complete interest in dating you or pursuing a romantic relationship with you, possibly after 3 to 5 dates. Now, he will do this for 2 reasons. It makes the courtship less costly in time, effort, and money. You see, women steal the resources from men behind their backs. And I'm not talking about literal stealing. I'm talking about time, the energy they put into wooing us, and obviously the money they spend on dates. Now, if you are attempting to be a high value woman, or you are embarking on being a high value woman, you should not be paying on the date. You should not be the one having to strike up table talk. Of course, you should be friendly, you should smile, you should be very receptive and contribute to the conversation, because of course he's trying to get to know you in a very feminine way, but you should not be putting all the effort forward, i.e. you shouldn't be offering to split the bill at the end of the date. You should not be coming up with all of the jokes. You should also not be revealing every single thing about yourself from your previous relationships. And talking about your previous relationships, especially your physical intimate history with anyone, is definitely off the table. These are all the things that the extreme woke feminists have forgotten about. That's the third thing that he's going to do. He may stop returning your calls. He may start replying with one-word answers. And at that point, you are dealing with male dominance. And a man who has conquered the business world has oodles and oodles of male dominance. Of course, he has wealth. And this can also work in the opposite way. He will bestow a lavish amount of gifts upon you and then retract everything to get what he wants. So the second thing that men do when they want to trick a woman out of her virtue is try and protect their male ego. Every time you reject him, his ego is damaged. If you fall for his trick, you must understand that he will subconsciously feel far more superior to you, and your relationship with him after the act will diminish drastically. His curiosity will have reduced. The amount of effort that he has to put forward will reduce because you will either put out or be ditched. It completely changes the power dynamic of your relationship, and any gifts that you would have been receiving will be automatically diminished, especially if that was all he was after. So you have to play the game. How do you defend yourself against a man who has now begun to use a feminine tactic of playing hard to get? Well, I'll say this to you for free. Let him walk. The power of being a high caliber, very virtuous, high value woman is to be willing at any stage of the courtship to let a man go. Ideally, you should have at least 5 to 6 suitors at any one given time. And when they drop off one by one, you should be actively seeking their replacement. Because let's face it, as you begin to pursue a high value lifestyle, you will meet a lot of charlatans along the way. A lot of men who present themselves as one thing but are really another. Men naturally will present a higher net worth than what they actually have. And I'm not talking about every single man, because as you get better at selecting suitors, possibly for marriage or dating, whatever your end goal is, you are going to meet a lot of train wrecks. How do you take control? Ignore him back and be prepared to let him go. If he does move into this hard to get phase, he at first was not really that into you anyway. And secondly, if he really was into you, and if he really is into you, and he really is curious about what you have got going on downstairs, he will come around. But not only will he come around, he will come around with a greater respect for you and for your femininity. And this also leads on to a topic regarding your intimate dating history. It's none of his concern, but I'll save that for a separate video. So the third thing that you can do is make nothing easy for him. Make it so he has to earn even your smiles. Harden your shell, not in an aggressive way, in a very feminine way, but any help that you give him to get back in your good books is going to go against you. You have to see yourself in some kind of ways as a teacher. Also let him know in so many ways without directly telling him that his replacement is on the way. How does one woman do that? Make sure that whenever he sees you, whether it be on social media or in person, you look absolutely stunning. And that's why it's important to have a very strict self-care regime. I'm going to end the video here, guys, because I think that I've given you quite a few tips that you can personally work on. One thing that we are not good at as the female species is taking rejection. I'll be back with another video, and until next time, take care of yourself.